Colorado. She redshirted this year in order to prepare just for this race and, of course, the Olympics that will follow. She has a lot of respect for this event, the steeplechase. She says you can never be too confident because you can always trip.
If she is upset, who might the upsetter be?
Well, first let's say she's almost 15 seconds better than everybody in this field based on times so far this year, and I think she can do even better than that. But Bridget Franek, who is the woman with just 15 seconds behind her, has looked very good this season. There you see Franek with the green top. She trains right here at Hayward Field.
So this is 7.5 laps of the track. And the barriers. Those are unforgiving barriers, too, not like a hurdle. 28 jumps for each lap. They're 30 inches high. Becky Wade is the early leader here with Delilah DiCrescenzo.
And now Coburn has gone to the front just as she did in qualifying. She felt very comfortable in front, she said. She didn't have to worry about running into anybody or anybody running into her. And I think this is a race where if she were to go ahead and start running the pace that she's capable of running, the others would just let her go.
So Emma Coburn, the favorite, goes to the front. Delilah DiCrescenzo, then Sarah Hall, Becky Wade, Ashley Higginson.
Higginson, part of an interesting Princeton University story in the steeplechase the last 2 days. Last night, Don Cabral, who just graduated from Princeton, qualified for the Olympic team, and they're two former Princeton students in this race, Higginson and Terry Dimmoff.
And over the water jump, with Coburn still in front. Higginson there is in third, you see her.
She's run 4 races this year in the steeplechase, and she's run personal bests in all 4, including her qualifying race on Monday.
Emma Coburn, Delilah DiCrescenzo, Becky Wade, Ashley Higginson, Mason Cathy. They have 6 laps remaining.
I just think it's so important when you can be like Coburn and run in the front. You get a clear view of the hurdles. You get the opportunity to adjust your steps as you come up to the hurdle. Take it cleanly. And remember what we talked about in the men's race, that every time you go over a hurdle, you're jarring your body. Some of the steeplechasers refer to it as a body blow. And as you pointed out, you're doing that 28 times during the race. That can really add up. So you don't want anything to go wrong in the race that might lead you to have to stutter step before the hurdle, hit the hurdle, or of course fall down.
Coming to the water jump again. Emma Coburn is over with Delilah DiCrescenzo, Ashley Higginson, Mason Cathy, and Bridget Franek. So Emma Coburn continues to lead the women's 3000-meter steeplechase final. And we'll be back with the conclusion in just a moment.
This is top U.S. marathoner Matt.
That's the team, Tom. Back to the steeplechase.
All right, where the steeplechase has less than 3 laps remaining, and Emma Coburn has opened up some distance on the other competitors. Bridget Franek in second place, Delilah DiCrescenzo in third, then Shelia Kipp, Ashley Higginson, and Sarah Hall. Coburn, Franek, and DiCrescenzo, the first 3, all have the A London standard as Coburn goes over the water jump.
Kipp, who is in fourth currently, does not have the standard. She missed it by 9/100ths of a second. So it's important that she keep moving. They're running under the A standard at the moment. Certainly Coburn is. The others are obviously letting Coburn go, but I feel confident that with only a little more than 2 laps to go, if they continue at this pace, they will all also break that standard. Franek is doing what I think she should do, is try to separate herself from the rest of the field so that it really becomes everybody running for third place and that she's not vulnerable, but she's having trouble doing that.
So Kipp moves into third now with Coburn having the big lead and Franek in second place, a clear second, and then Kipp, Hall, and DiCrescenzo starting to fade.
Coburn said it would make a huge difference for her. It would mean a lot if her training partner and teammate Kipp could make it onto the Olympic team. Keep your eye on Sarah Hall on the left of the screen. Her husband has already qualified Ryan Hall has already qualified for the Olympic team in the marathon.
Coburn over the water jump. Frantic. Kip goes over. Sarah Hall. And Coburn continues to pull away from the pack.
One of the things to watch for in steeplechasing is the sprint over the last lap. It's one thing to have to sprint after going over all these hurdles. But when you launch into your sprint, you have less opportunity to make adjustments, and that's when people often fall.
Emma Coburn takes the bell in front. Frantic is still second. Kip is third. Hall is fourth. Higginson is fifth. Then Garcia. And DiCrescenzo.
No question who's going to win this race, but the other places are still to be decided.
Frantic holding second over Kip, who is third. And Ashley Higginson now launching a bid. She moves into fourth place. Frantic trying to hold off Kip for second. And Kip goes by to take second. Frantic back to third. Higginson is fourth. The big leader, Emma Coburn, who is just now turning for home.
Higginson had an excellent water jump, but I don't know if it's enough to propel her into a sprint that will allow her to catch Kip.
Coburn's going to win it. Frantic is second. Kip trying to hold third with Higginson unable to catch her. Emma Coburn will win it. Here's the battle for second. Frantic does hold off second as the two Colorado teammates embrace.
And you notice how Kip ran all the way through the line, 9:35 for her finishing time, so she's achieved that A standard for the Olympics, and there'll be two Colorado athletes on the U.S. team in London.
Emma Coburn, the big winner, and Shalea Kip, also from Colorado, finishing third and achieving the London A standard to punch her ticket to the London Olympics. Bridget Frantic was the second place finisher. There are the two Colorado Buffalo teammates, and there's Frantic, who collapsed to the track after her effort, which got her second place. Coburn, as you predicted, much the best.
Well, and she did it the right way. She went to the front, eventually just pulled away from the others, and probably one of the most enjoyable races she's ever had. Meanwhile, behind her, lots of nervousness. Frantic did not look good to me. She really looked like she was not going to be able to stay with Kip at one point on that last lap, but she really did well off the last water jump and into the home stretch as you see Kip take a look behind her to see who might be coming. It was Ashley Higginson behind her. Very good hurdling technique for both women over the last hurdle. And then it was a race to the finish line, but for Kip it was all about getting that last qualifying time, and she did it with room to spare. Coach Mark Wetmore from Colorado, who put Jenny Simpson on the Olympic team in this event in 2008, puts two women on in 2012.
There are the official results, and there is your Olympic team. In fact, the last three NCAA champions comprise the U.S. team. There with Lewis.